Cakes have become the centerpiece of our most cherished celebrations. Birthdays, weddings, and holidays. Nothing is complete with a grand cake. Join me as we explore a factory where hundreds and thousands of cakes are produced day by day. History of cakes. Before we head over to the factory, let's take a trip back in time to ancient Egypt and Greece, where the first cakes were nothing like the fluffy masterpieces we enjoy today. Back then, cakes were more like sweetened breads. Imagine biting into a warm loaf made with flour, honey, and maybe some nuts or dried fruits. That's right, honey was a key ingredient because sugar wasn't invented yet. These early treats were often enjoyed during special occasions, but they were quite different from the layered cakes we see at birthday parties today. Did you know that in ancient Greece, people even used cakes to celebrate the moon goddess Artemis? They would bake round cakes and place candles on top, symbolizing the moon's glow. Who could imagine that blowing candles on birthday cake goes back to ancient Greek traditions? Now let's jump to the 19th century, the time of the Industrial Revolution. This was a game changer for baking. With new technologies emerging, bakers began using machines like dough mixers and steam ovens. This meant they could make cakes faster and in larger quantities than ever before. Imagine a factory where hundreds of cakes are being made at once. This was when mass production became possible. The ingredients also changed during this time. Bakers started experimenting with different flavors and textures, leading to the modern cakes we know today. Curious about how these machines work and what they can do? Stick around as we explore the incredible world of cake production in factories. Early baking techniques. Before we had fancy machines whipping up our favorite treats, baking was all about traditional methods. Picture bakers kneading dough by hand and carefully measuring each ingredient, time-consuming but full of love. However, as demand for cakes grew, it became clear that something had to change. This is where industrial methods came into play. Instead of small batches made by hand, factories began using machines to produce large quantities of cakes quickly. This shift from artisanal baking to mechanized processes allowed bakers to create consistent flavors and textures while keeping up with rising demand. Inside the factory, as we step into this buzzing cake factory, the aroma of sweet possibilities fills the air. This is where the ingredients meet the machines to transform into irresistible cakes. Right at the heart of it all, we find this lightning-fast yet very gentle robot that cracks hundreds of eggs per minute. And it's not just cracking. This genius separates the yolks with precision, whisking them straight into the batter mix. I can't find a single mistake here, can you? Next, for the frosting, egg yolks and powdered sugar are whipped together in massive mixers. These are strong enough to handle hundreds of pounds of batter at once. These mixers are pros at blending the perfect mix of wet and dry ingredients. For sticky dough, oil spraying steps in, replacing non-stick paper to keep things running smoothly. The batter is then portioned out with precision, ensuring each pan gets the perfect amount for cakes that are identical in size and shape. Finally, the motion control baker bot swoops in, loading trays of batter onto a cart like a baking ninja, and off we go to the next exciting stage, baking. These industrial ovens are the superheroes of the factory, perfectly calibrated to keep an even temperature. The result? Every cake rises to perfection. They're adaptable, programmable, and built for efficiency, baking thousands of cakes a day without ever compromising on quality. Once baked, automatic cutters step in to gently slice each cake into 3 or 4 flawless layers. Precision is key here, especially for multi-layered cakes, and these cutters deliver perfection every time. To keep every slice soft and moist, a syrup spray system works its magic, applying just the right amount of sweet syrup to the surface. And now, we move on to the frosting. With eggs and icing sugar prepped, the frosting is layered between each slice. The machines handle this with absolute precision, spreading an even coat between the layers and along the sides for a finish that's as delicious as it is beautiful. Finally, it's time for the grand assembly. On one end, frosted cake layers move down the conveyor belt, while the top layer glides in from above. It all comes together seamlessly, layer upon layer of sweet perfection. Once the cake layers are stacked and steady, this is where where the cakes get a total glow-up. Frosting. This robotic arm teams up with a rotating cake table to coat the entire cake in smooth frosting. It's so precise and lightning fast that the whole process is over before you count 3. Watching it in action is oddly satisfying, like seeing perfection unfold. With the frosting flawlessly applied inside and out, the cakes move on to the decoration stage. Thanks to modern machinery, a baker's creativity can now be replicated with machine-like precision. Automatic decorating machines step in to add personalized touches, whether it's intricate designs, personalized messages, or patterns, making the cakes as lovely as they are delicious. Finally, for cakes that are going to be sold by the slice, the final step is slicing. Specialized ultrasonic cutters handle this task, delivering clean, precise cuts every time. Each slice comes out uniform, visually appealing, and ready to make people stop at the windows. What a perfect ending to this incredible journey of cake making. A big thanks to the brilliant engineers who designed these incredible machines. Let's take a moment to appreciate them. From the first mix of batter to that final decorative touch, it's a process packed with creativity and love. We hope you've enjoyed this behind-the-scenes look and that we haven't ruined your diet. Every cake has its own story to share. If you love sweets as much as I do, stick around because we're going to watch how another one of your favorite treats is made. Coconut-filled chocolate bars. Coconut-filled chocolate bars. It all starts in a giant mixing machine where some secret ingredients come together in a magical dance. Picture this: sugar, coconut, and creamy butter teaming up to whip up that unbeatable flavor that makes our taste buds tingle. Once this thick, luscious mixture is just right, it's time for the next step. High-tech blades slice it into perfectly sized pieces, ready for the ultimate treat. And here comes the fun part. These bars are about to take a delightful dip in a flowing chocolate waterfall. This isn't just any chocolate. It's premium grade, rich and velvety, coating each bar to perfection. To ensure everything is just right, a team keeps a close eye on the process, taking notes to make sure every detail is on point. As the chocolate envelops each bar, it gives them that glossy, mouth-watering finish we simply can't resist. After their delightful chocolate bath, the bars glide through a drying tunnel. Here, a cool breeze helps the chocolate set, creating that crispy, delicious shell we love so much. This chill time is super important. It ensures the chocolate hardens just right and gives each piece its flawless finish. Maintaining the perfect temperature during this process is key. It prevents any melting or uneven coating, so every bite remains consistently delicious. Once they're perfectly set, the bars are carefully sealed and packed into their boxes, ready to hit the shelves and bring sweet satisfaction to chocolate lovers everywhere. Ready for something more salty? Let's explore this banana chips factory. Banana chips. These dedicated workers are sorting each banana to make sure they are top-notch. As the bananas roll in on conveyor belts, they're peeled with precision, making sure that delicate fruit inside stays intact. You might wonder why they choose green bananas instead of ripe ones. The answer is simple. Unripe bananas have a firmer texture and less sugar, which gives the chips that perfect crunch we all love. Once peeled, these bananas are sliced into thin, even pieces by amazing slicing machines. After a quick wash bath, the slices are carefully checked to ensure they're just the right thickness. Now comes the magic. They're dropped into hot oil, where they transform into crunchy, delicious chips. And safety first, the crew wears face masks and gloves to keep everything clean and safe. After frying, the chips travel down another conveyor belt to drain off excess oil and dry out, making them extra crispy. Once dried, they get seasoned with their signature flavors, ensuring every chip is perfectly tasty. Of course, any overcooked chips are sorted out to keep your snack game strong. Finally, a high-tech portioning machine steps in to sort the chips into perfect servings. This incredible machine makes sure every packet has just the right amount of chips for your snacking pleasure. And after enjoying those salty snacks, don't you think it's time for something sweet to wrap things up? How about ice cream? Ice cream is a timeless treat that never goes out of fashion, and it's easy to see why. With its rich and creamy texture combined with an endless variety of flavors, it's a dessert that delights everyone. Made from a luscious blend of milk, cream, and sugar, Each batch is churned to create that silky smoothness we all adore. Every spoonful is a little piece of heaven, featuring everything from beloved classics like vanilla and chocolate to new flavors that spark curiosity and excitement. Whether you're enjoying it in a crunchy cone, a cozy cup, or on a fun stick, ice cream is the ultimate comfort food that always satisfies your cravings. It's the perfect way to celebrate life's moments, big or small, with a scoop of happiness. If this sweet,